Now, what is your affordable loss? How much can you afford to lose without any problem? How much right now, if you were to invest and things go south and you're like, I'm just okay. Well, I can't wish to lose even a single shilling or a coin or a dollar, but the fact is, well, if I lose that, well, everything will remain constant. I'll eat, I'll pay my bills, I'll pay my recurrent expenditure, I'll pay the school fees, I'll pay electricity. I'm just okay. My life will continue. All right. So, what is your affordable loss? I think that's what I should ask you. Because if you can be able to answer this question, I am telling you, you will invest like a crazy person. I repeat, see, if you can define, let me just put it on the board. See, if you can define your affordable loss, all right? How much is your affordable loss? If you can define this, you're going to be able to invest like a crazy person. When I say affordable loss, it simply means the past sum of the money, okay, or the capital that you can part with without it affecting your day-to-day activities. And this is where some of the people get it wrong. For example, let's say we have an individual A. An individual A, let's say he has tried as much as he can, I don't know, for the whatever the period of time he have managed to save like 100K, okay? I'm saying 100K, you can use the concept. Forget about the currency, use the concept. So 100K, that's what you've saved with you. Now, see this guy, this 100K, it means a lot to him. So the guy wants to put this money on the go. Why? Because he watches Good Joseph and he feels like, hey, guess what? Hey, I don't have to have that money lying idle in a bank. So I have to do something. So the guy takes this. Remember one thing. This guy A, this 100K is the only money this guy has. Is the only savings that this guy has. And let's say this guy, perhaps in one way or the other, he was fired last month. This guy was fired last month. So therefore, it means this guy has no any other source of income. So the only thing that he has is the 100K. And this 100K, this guy want to put it on go. So therefore, this guy, when you take even 5K out of this guy, there is a pinch that this guy would feel. Or if you take 100, maybe say 20K from this guy, is a pinch that will fit. So you find this guy has to define his affordable loss. And let's say this guy who got fired, he's looking forward into starting a venture that's going to be able to cater for his bills each and every day. So these guys probably will be like, So before I even commit my money, say into, definitely this guy, I cannot advise him to go the money market fund way or go the, okay, if assuming that the guy do not have any other option of like, hey, go seek for another job, at least safeguard that 100K that you have before you commit that money. Let's say there is no any other alternative out there. He cannot get the job again, nothing. So he has to rely on this money. Definitely the guy, I cannot advise him to go buy stocks or shares or money market fund or treasury bills. That won't solve his problem. This guy won't be able to get money like next week. So the point is, because that's how immediate the guy needs money. So therefore it means the guy has to get into the what? Has everything to risk. This guy can risk the entire 100K into the businesses or into a business. Why? Because we say business, they usually have high risk. Guess what? Because they have what? Because they have high returns. All right? Because the guy, see, when you have nothing, you tend to risk a lot. And when you have a lot, you tend then to risk a lot. People who do not risk that, the people who don't have a lot and they don't have like nothing. You get the thing? So when you have nothing, you tend to be like, guess what? It is what it is. It's like, let me give this example. It's like a very wealthy nation, a rich nation, neighboring a politically disturbed nation, and they're about to go for a war. I mean, seriously, if you are the country, if you're the president of the wealthy nation, would you go to a war with that country that almost has nothing to lose? You cannot afford to do that. You cannot afford. I mean, you have to be very careful. You are in a thriving economy. You get what I'm saying? It's like in Africa, there is this proverb that whoever is selling the eggs cannot afford to engage in a battle, cannot engage into a war, because definitely the guy is carrying the precious thing as that thing means life to him. So the point is this, this particular guy, this guy has to put this money into on go. And maybe he can be like, okay, fine. For me, I may not be able to risk all the entire 100 Gs. I can be able to put on the 50K because I can afford to lose this. Allow me to give another example for me to explain this point. Let's say, for example, we have somebody who has 10 million. That's now B. Person B has like 10 mic with him. Now, or her. Now, this 10 mic, this guy can be like, Well, out of this 10 mic, I can be able to put one mic on go. I have no problem. So the guy can part with one mic and put it maybe, let's say, into anything. An investment can be an MMF, can be a bill, can be a business. Let's say the guy decided to put on a what? Something like a barber shop. You know, the guy can go and put up a barber shop with, say, a 1 million Kenyan shilling. And by the way, a million bob can put you, can, sort of give you a very good, nice barbershop in Kenya. See, if you have it, you can just go ahead and do the thing. But I didn't say it's the best business you can ever do. Depends on where you're located. Now, the point is, the guy gets the one mic, get into the barbershop business. If you tell the guy, that's a risk business. The guy tells you, okay, no problem. Have you ever met with wealthy people who are, you told them, hey, guess what? Well, but I think it's a quite of a risky business. I think it's quite of a, risk engagement. They'd be like, well, okay, fine. But if you don't risk, we don't get. Probably, in most cases, that guy is telling you, can afford to lose that. I have no problem. I mean, even if I lose it, I'm not looking forward to losing it, but even if I lose it, everything of mine will be okay. I'm sorted. So the guy can part with the one mic and put it in a barbershop. And the guy will try the best he can to push the barbershop to actually guess what. And the first thing they usually aim is the return of money, the return of investment, the ROI, the ROI, or whatever you call it. See, the guy goes back and tries to make sure that they recoup their million bob. Even if they happen to recoup their million bob, I'm telling you, you're secured. So the amount of money that you can part ways without having any stress or a problem. And this is a relative amount. My affordable loss is not your affordable loss. Somebody can have an affordable loss of 10 million. Somebody can have an affordable loss of, say, 10,000. Somebody can have an affordable. There's someone who will tell you, oh, Joseph, I don't want to risk anything. Then for you, I cannot even advise you to get into the business because you must have an affordable loss for you. Everybody has an affordable loss. So you cannot say, I do not have an affordable loss. If you argue from the point of I don't have an affordable loss, you want to get everything 100% sure, then you're not an entrepreneur. You're not an investor. You cannot get into the business of the investment. Why? Because we don't reason that way. For God's sake, you must have a percentage that you can afford to lose. Even if you are to contact your financial advisor before you make any move as far as the investment is concerned, they ask that question. They have to ask you, like, hey, how much is your affordable loss? How much money are you willing to? Because let me tell you one thing. The success is usually wrapped in those risks that we take. If you cannot penetrate the risk, if you cannot go overboard, if you cannot go beyond the fear that you're having, because in most cases, the risk is usually the fear of losing the cash. If you have that sentimental attachment with your cash, what happens? You tend to have that money lying idle in a bank. You'll never take any action. You analyze to paralyze everything. You'll never take any action. So when you define your affordable loss, when you be like, and be at peace with it. If I find somebody who is having 10 million somewhere, and then the guy has invested 150K, and I'm not saying there is money that is supposed to be lost, but you find somebody investing 150K somewhere, but the way he's not even breathing, the guy has I've ever seen that he's panting all the time. You're like, oh my goodness, I don't know what I can do. Wow, are you sure? We don't do that. If you argue that way, on a very serious note, can you just imagine this, putting up a flat or putting up a skyscraper somewhere, and then I'm saying this because I met somebody who is behaving like that. You put on because let's say, for example, you have like a 10 mic with you, 10 million, and then you have like 50,000 that you have to invest, but you're all over making a million calls like, hey, what's going on? Maybe I cannot judge you. Maybe that is your affordable loss. It's so minimal. Then it's okay. Then let's agree on this video. Fine, that is your affordable loss. We won't judge you. Nobody's judging you. It's okay, because we said you have to define your affordable loss. But then the more you risk, the more you get, that's for sure. But it has to be a calculated risk. In either way, you have to make sure that you risk for you to make sure that at least you gain or win at the end of the day. So the point is on this video I was saying, if you can define it, then you can get into any engagement, you can get into any business, you can get into any entrepreneurship without having any problem, and you can progress. In Swahili we say pole pole, meaning like slowly, to the next level. Because I always have some people coming into my DM asking me, hey Joseph, I would like to know what can I invest on, and then the next thing they tell me, Joseph, but I want you to give me an idea that will work 100% sure. I don't want to lose my money and all those kind. Sometimes when you describe yourself that way, I get scared, Because now I'm like, wow, what if now we have a conversation and things doesn't work? Why? So why you forever live to blame me? And then this is why I always tell you there is something called the professional guidance. Professional guidance is when you don't suggest somebody a specific thing. It's when you give them an array of things for them to make a personal decision. For example, when you call me and ask me what's the best money market fund company can I choose? Obviously, I can't tell you go to company X. I can't tell you that. Why? Because it's unprofessional. Well, the only person who can tell you that is an agent of that person. And when you come across maybe somebody who is advising you and telling you go to this, probably they are making cash from both ends. They are making from the company and they are making cash from you. But when you receive or want to get a professional guidance, it's when somebody does not take sides. They tell you, guess what? A is okay, B is okay, C is okay, and even D is okay. All of them are good. So you can pick any. In simple terms, they're telling you, be a little bit responsible as well for yourself. Why? Go check what is A, go check what is B, go check what is C, go check. You can disregard E, G, F, H, and whatever. Go check this one, do the research. Now, by the time now you're making a decision of A, you can justify yourself. I did pick A. All of them are okay. The four of them are okay. But I did pick A. Why? A has this and this and compared to this and this. That way, you can grow with that given company and you have that understanding. That is exactly what you do. So the moment you approach the world of investment or the world of businesses, never approach it with the mentality of 100% surety because it does not work. And I used to have a very hard time with parents telling me like, hey, I don't know whether this is too much information, but I remember I used to have a very hard time accepting the idea of getting a job, being employed. It used to be a little bit tough for me because I used to be like, okay, fine. Why would I be employed? Why can't I be a creator? Why can't I create something and something of sort on? Well, in my life, I got a little bit of employment, especially when I finished my high school and what have you, and maybe when I got attachment when I was about to graduate because it's a requirement in Kenya. But I've never been employed formally since I graduated from my university. I should say even since I understood myself who I am. I've never been, because that's me. And I'm not saying you should quit your job. I'm not saying it's not a good thing. For God's sake, you have to follow fast before you lead, because you need to grow. And just because it works for me does not mean it will automatically work for you. All right. But the point is, it's always good to have this mentality, because I used to have a very hard time and I was like, I could sit down with parents and they were telling me, job is good, job is great. Why? Because even if, things go south or whatever, you're going to get your salary at the end of there is that surety of the end of the month. And I was like, isn't that comfort? Isn't that being average? Isn't that, okay, fine. Then if you argue that way, then how about the owners of that business that I'm working from? Let's say you are a graduate and you go and work for a farm. Say it's a law firm, or maybe it's what do we call it? Whatever firm it is. For God's sake, it's a business. It's someone's business. And now you argue from the point of that way. Now the point is, if you all have that kind of a mentality, then we are all craving. And I think that's why we have a crisis in Africa, or the crisis of jobs, because the university are just emitting people who are seeking job. Nobody want to create. Why? Everyone want to play safe, being average and all those kind of things. And that's why I heard somewhere nowadays it's a bit easier to become great because most of the people don't want to put the effort and what have you. And that's why maybe, for example, you tell somebody, hey, you can go read about something. They tell you, send me the link. You're like, yo, you can just go search it and you can be able to get the several wrong ones before you get the right ones. In the process, you are learning. You at least know which one does not work and what. You tell him, just send me the link. Send me the link and what have you. For example, some comes in my inbox and telling me, hey, Joseph, there is a video that you talked about 1, 2, 3. I would like to watch that video and say, wow, okay, fine. You can go check on it on my YouTube. Send me the link, Joseph. Yo, not that I can, but for God's sake, I have over 800 videos. So meaning I have to go through, scroll them, grab it, then send it to you. Yeah, for sure I can. That is no problem. But the point is, go consume several others before you reach that particular one. So by the time now you're reaching to that one, then you can be able to be, okay. Oh, by the way, I was running to get the things to do with rates. Oh, wow, I didn't even know you get about the money market. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're thinking about the treasury bills. You get one for about treasury bills. Okay. So now by the time now you reach the one that you want, you can now compare the information that you got along the way vis-a-vis what you're getting now of what you anticipated to get. Then you can compare and contrast and be like, wow. I think you're informed. That curiosity is what brings some. For example, you can just, let me not get there. But the point is, you can understand what I'm talking about. So it's always good to be an individual who knows that nothing is 100% assured on this world. You have to have that percentage of risk, inside of you for you to make a progress as far as the investments are concerned. And guess what? that marks the end of this video, but it's not the end of me posting a video each and every time. So if you are a new subscriber here or new viewer, go ahead and subscribe and make sure that you hit the like button and also put a comment on the comment section, and see you in the next one. And don't forget, my number is always on the description of each and every video that I do post, so you can go grab it and you can shoot me a call. You can have a discussion, you know, about investments for just a cup of coffee's price. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.